Welcome back. If you just joined us, our guest on this episode of Question Time has been the Director General of the Debt Management Office, Dr. Abraham Nwankwo, and we've been taking a look at Nigeria's debt profile and also examining Nigeria's debt strategy and how that can fit into the federal government's plan to stimulate economic growth. Don't go away. How do you explain this optimism in spite of the delisting of Nigeria from the JP Morgan?
No, see, that's the mistake. I have always told people there's nothing about JP Morgan delisting. JP Morgan was a recognition of a work we had done in Nigeria. JP Morgan did not bring in anything. JP Morgan was, an announcement that Nigeria has achieved something. So JP Morgan can come and go. It doesn't change what we are doing here. We developed the bond market. We did not develop it with JP Morgan. It's Nigerians that develop it. The Central Bank of Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Finance, the DMO, the Secretary Commission, the private sector, capital market players. We developed the bond market. And the bond market is still strong. You can go and check the records. We have been going to the market since January. Every month we have a monthly auction. You are aware of that?
Are you considering the diaspora bond?
There's a provision for diaspora to be raised. Indeed, the National Assembly, based on the request of His Excellency Mr. President, has approved that Nigeria can raise up to $300 million worth of from the diaspora in 2016, and we are working on that presently.
Now let's examine how consistent your debt strategy is. We have because you are saying that all the debts gotten should be for servicing of capital expenditure. But that is not the case when it comes to the state level. Most of their debt servicing are tailored towards servicing of recurrent expenditure. So how do you harmonize this?
I don't think you are right. That has not always been so. We are aware, and the records are there.
No, but the records are there that state governments are taking loans for payment of salaries, which is recurring.
We have to appreciate the challenges of this economy. And that's why the discussion we are having is how do you turn around the economy? How do you diversify the economy? And when you talk of diversifying the economy is the states. The Nigerian economy is made up of the 36 states geographically and the Federal Capital Territory. So the focus is on diversifying the economy. We appreciate that there are weaknesses in the Nigerian economy. It has nothing to really do with states per se. It has to do with the Nigerian economy. And all of us should be working in terms of how do we restructure, diversify the Nigerian economy so that it's on a part of self-sustaining growth, making it more productive. That's why we are talking of infrastructure. That's why we are talking of diversifying the economy based on providing basic infrastructure, diversify agriculture. The agriculture is practiced in the states. There's no there's no place called federal government where you practice agriculture. The agricultural production we are talking, the rice we are talking about, which we are substituting over the next 5 years, will be in the states. The roads and railways you are building are passing along and in the states. So when we are talking of resuscitating, some sort of turning around the Nigerian economy, we are talking about turning around the state's economy in the medium to long term. So Nigeria should appreciate that the challenges states are having is a temporary thing, okay? And the focus of everybody should be, what measures should we take?
Okay, let me take you up on this. You said the mandate of the DMO, the Debt Management Office, is in conformity with the change agenda. And you also said that in the past, that the debt that Nigeria was into had no focus and was not coordinated. But now, could you tell us the terms of reference of the current debt Nigeria is owing now? Could you tell us the conditions attached to it?
Let me tell you, every money Nigeria is owing now has been borrowed at the right terms and conditions. For example, if you are borrowing from the World Bank, most of the loans we have in our portfolio from the World Bank are loans that are over 40 years old, which means they were borrowed for a very long time at very low interest rates, less than 1.25% per annum. And because these projects are for projects like education, health, water supply, rural roads, it makes sense that you should borrow such funds because the debt service burden is very light as you spread them over a very long period and as the interest rate is very low. So that's the type of, in fact, over 70% of the debts you have in an external debt portfolio belong to that group. The other debts that are not exactly concessional are even not high. Many of them are below 3% interest rate. The loans from bilateral sources, from China Exim, the loans from France, the loans from Germany are at a maximum of about 3%. So most of the time, we don't really appreciate the nature of our loan portfolio.
Dr. Abraham Nwankwo, thank you very much for making our time to be part of this episode of Question Time, and also for letting us know the federal government's determination to stimulate economic growth using the debt servicing strategy. Thank you very much indeed, and we indeed wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much indeed. And that's it on this episode of Question Time. You may also send us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Join us next week on another exciting episode of the show on Channels Television. Many thanks for watching. I'm Gbenga Ashiru saying goodbye.